Vascular bundle. It is not just the stems that contain vascular bundles. The roots and leaves also contain vascular bundles. You will just need to know their location and appearance in the stem and leaves of dicotyledonous plants. Dicotyledonous plants are the only group of plants in your syllabus, so all the plants they show are probably dicotyledonous. So if you see the word, just skip it from the sentence. This is a plant on it are aphids, which suck sugary sap from the phloem. Look at the tablespoon of sugar. Do you see a P? Yes, P is for phloem, so phloem transports sugar. Or sucrose, to be more specific. Amino acids are also transported in the phloem. Do take note that sucrose and amino acids must be dissolved, so water also travels through the phloem, just that its goal in life is to transport food. Vascular bundles are made up of xylem and cambium, the latter of which is not in the O-level syllabus. To remember xylem's function, it is pretty simple. Look at the pair of straws. What letter do you see? X is for xylem, and what is the function of a straw? To transport water and, well, mineral salts in the plant's case. Their position is pretty logical. Aphids' proboscises are rather short, so they definitely can't achieve deep penetration. Hence, the phloem is closer to the exterior. So a great cheat would be to draw the stem with xylem and phloem curving out. Phloem is on the outside, while xylem is on the inside. From here, you can deduce the location of phloem and xylem in cross-section view of the stem. As for the leaf, if you look at your labelling, the brown xylem is on top, while the green phloem is below. So we can also label the leaf's vascular bundle, xylem on top, phloem below. Let's take a closer examination of the vascular bundle of dicotyledonous plants, which form a ring around the edge of the stem. Xylem is closer to the centre of the stem, so it is located here, while phloem is closer to the surface, and together they form the vascular bundle. It is also important to take note that xylem has a larger lumen and is more polygonal compared to phloem. The walls of xylem are also thicker than phloem's. Other than the main attraction, you should already know the surface layer is called the epidermis. Cortex and pith are not a must to know, but it would be good to know them by name in case the question asks you to label other parts of the plant. Hint: just label the epidermis if needed. The functions of the cortex and pith are for the storage of manufactured food and to contribute to the structural support of the plant. Vascular bundles in the leaf are nothing new. Xylem is on top, while phloem is below. And again, xylem has a larger lumen and is more polygonal compared to phloem. The walls of xylem are also thicker than phloem's. Xylem. The functions of xylem are the transport of water and mineral salts in one direction, from the root up to the leaf. Lignin in xylem also provides mechanical support, which allows the wood to stand erected without a backbone. Xylem is both dead and hollow, meaning it is just like a husk. It also lacks cross walls. This means that instead of looking all filled up with organelles and surrounded by a cell membrane and cell wall like normal cells, xylem is actually empty as it lacks protoplasm. There are also gaps or holes between the xylem on top and below. These features help to reduce resistance to water flow. Xylem is narrow, which results in an increased effect of capillary action. This is a phenomenon in which a liquid flows up in narrow spaces against gravity. Lignin is present in xylem, which helps provide mechanical support for the plant. Lignin also allows xylem to withstand pressure from the flowing water. Lastly, being waterproof, lignin prevents water from escaping from the vessel. Lignin is also the reason why the walls of xylem appear thicker than those of phloem in both the stem and leaf. There are also pits, which allow water to move laterally. This is needed when accidents happen, for example, when part of the tree is accidentally struck by lightning. You can imagine water will actually be squirting out from the damaged part of the tree. However, the plant can heal itself and seal the damaged part. When the top is sealed, water from the damaged xylem can flow laterally to other xylem because of the pits. Phloem. As for phloem, its function is translocation. Translocation is the transport of manufactured food substances, such as sugar, specifically sucrose, and amino acids through the phloem. Translocation is bidirectional, meaning food can go up or down. But just take note that the food is dissolved in water. So water also flows through the phloem, but water transport is not the ultimate aim. Phloem consists of two groups of cells. The first group are the sieve cells, or sieve tube elements. As they mature, they start to destroy themselves, digesting their organelles and even their nuclei that house their genetic material. They eventually hollow themselves out and are left with a very reduced amount of cytoplasm. Pores are formed at the top and bottom, which will become part of the sieve plates. Sieve cells then fuse with the sieve cells above and below them, forming a continuous tube. The fused parts of the cells are known as the sieve plates. At this stage, they are unable to support themselves. Hence, they need a second group of cells called companion cells to keep them alive. They connect with sieve cells via tiny channels and maintain them by supplying energy and repairing them when needed. Instructions on where to transport sucrose and amino acids are also decided by the companion cells. Similar to xylem, phloem runs from roots to leaves, providing food to wherever it is needed. So here is a summary of the characteristics and functions of sieve tubes and companion cells. The sieve tube has very little protoplasm, meaning it lacks organelles such as a nucleus, and at the vertical ends there are sieve plates with pores. Both of these characteristics help to reduce resistance to the flow of phloem sap. Companion cells have a nucleus, which helps to determine the direction of transport of sucrose and amino acids. As the flow can be against the concentration gradient, the presence of mitochondria helps to release energy for the loading of sugars into sieve tubes by active transport.